There are moments in life when the weight you carry feels almost unbearable, when the silence of your own thoughts is louder than any noise outside. When you wake up in the morning and the first thing you feel is not hope but the sharp reminder of something you've lost, something that's broken, or someone who's walked away. I want to tell you, those moments are not the end of your story. They are, in fact, the very pages that will define who you truly are. I know that when it hurts, everything inside you wants to shut down, to retreat, to protect yourself from feeling more pain. But what if I told you, the pain you feel today can become the greatest strength you'll ever know, that inside your hardest moments are the seeds of transformation, seeds that can grow into resilience, wisdom, and power if you choose to nurture them. This is not just about surviving hurt. This is about learning to master it, to turn it into your advantage. Because pain has a language, and once you understand it, it stops controlling you, and you begin to control the direction of your life again. So today, I want you to lean in. Don't just hear my words, feel them. Let them reach the part of you that's been silent for too long. By the end of this message, you won't just see your pain differently. You'll see yourself differently. And you'll walk away knowing that when it hurts, it's not the moment to give up. It's the moment to rise. When life wounds us, our first instinct is to resist the pain, to run from it, to pretend it's not there. We want comfort, we want ease, and we want the storm to pass quickly so we can return to the familiar calm. But the truth is, pain is not an enemy. It is a messenger. It arrives uninvited, often at the most inconvenient times, and it disrupts the plans we thought were certain. Yet it carries something within it that comfort never could, a truth about who we are and who we can become. Every hurt we endure comes with a lesson that, if we are willing to see it, can change the entire direction of our lives. Think back to the moments that shaped you the most. Were they the easy days, the ones where everything went according to plan? Or were they the times you were tested, stretched, and pushed beyond what you thought you could handle? We learn little when the path is smooth. It's when the ground beneath us shakes, when we feel the cracks forming in our plans, that we are forced to grow in ways we never imagined. Pain, in its rawest form, is a teacher that refuses to let us stay the same. The challenge is that lessons wrapped in pain rarely feel like gifts in the moment. They feel like loss, they feel like betrayal, they feel like unfairness, but often that very feeling of being broken is what reveals our strength. Because strength is not built in comfort. It is forged in discomfort, pressure, and resistance. Just as a diamond is shaped under the weight of the earth, our character is shaped under the weight of our trials. When something happens that leaves you hurt, you have two choices. You can see it as a punishment, or you can see it as preparation. If you believe it's punishment, you will allow it to shrink you, to make you bitter, to close you off from possibility. But if you choose to see it as preparation, suddenly the narrative changes. The pain is no longer here to destroy you. It's here to prepare you for something greater, to equip you with resilience, empathy, and vision that you would never have gained otherwise. I have met people who have endured heartbreak, financial ruin, rejection, or failure on a scale most could not imagine. And yet, when they tell their stories, they speak of those moments with a strange kind of gratitude. Why? Because the person they became on the other side was far stronger, far wiser, and far more capable than the person they were before it happened. They discovered that the very thing they thought was breaking them was actually building them. We must also understand that pain is not random. It's specific to the growth we need. If you're learning to stand on your own, life might test you with loneliness. If you're learning to trust your own voice, life might bring people who doubt you. If you're learning to be resilient, life might knock you down repeatedly until you realize you can get back up every single time. The pain is tailored not to destroy you, but to teach you exactly what you must know for the road ahead. When you start to view pain as a teacher, you no longer resist it in the same way. You start to ask better questions. Instead of why me, you begin to ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in mindset is the beginning of transformation. Because the moment you stop fighting the reality of your pain and start learning from it, you take back your power. And here's the thing about lessons: they don't just stay with you, they equip you to help others. The wisdom you gain from your hurt becomes a light for someone else who is walking through their own darkness. Your scars become proof that healing is possible, that survival is possible, that even after the hardest seasons, there is life, and not just life, but life worth living. There will always be people who run from pain, trying to numb it, hide it, or pretend it doesn't exist. But those who face it, embrace it, and learn from it, they are the ones who emerge unshakable. And when the next storm comes, they stand taller, not because the storm is weaker, but because they are stronger. So if you're in that place right now where it hurts, don't close your eyes and wait for it to pass. Look at it, listen to it, learn from it, because one day you'll look back and realize it wasn't punishment. It was the moment you started becoming who you were meant to be. There is a kind of strength that can't be seen in photographs, can't be measured by applause, and can't be captured in the fleeting moments where everyone's watching. It's the kind of strength that's built in complete silence, when no one knows what you're going through, and no one is there to clap for you. It's in those private moments, when you're alone with your thoughts, your fears, and your doubts, that the deepest layers of resilience are formed. When life hurts, most of what you endure will happen away from the eyes of others. People might see the smile you wear during the day, but they don't see the tears that fall late at night. They don't see the way you pace the floor, replaying moments you wish you could change. They don't see the moments where your chest feels heavy, and your mind is fighting just to believe that things will get better. Those are the battles that happen in the quiet, where strength is not an option, but a necessity. In the silence, there's nowhere to hide from yourself. You can distract yourself in public, but when you're alone, every doubt, every fear, every unanswered question seems to grow louder. And it's in facing those moments without running from them that you start building the foundation of who you really are. Strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in confrontation. Confrontation with your own limits, your own patterns, and your own weaknesses. The hardest part of silent struggles is that they often feel invisible. When you're hurting inside, the world keeps moving. People go to work, laugh at jokes, post pictures of their happy moments. And sometimes that makes you feel like your pain doesn't matter. But here's the truth: it does matter. Every private battle you fight is a layer of resilience that you carry into the rest of your life. Those unseen victories are what will keep you standing when future storms come. Think about it. Every time you've gotten through a night you thought you couldn't survive, every time you've taken a deep breath when panic tried to overwhelm you, every time you've held back words that could have escalated a conflict, you've been training yourself for the future. And while no one else may ever know the depth of that struggle, you will. You'll know that you didn't just make it through, you built something inside yourself that nothing can take away. Silent struggles also have a way of teaching you patience. When you're in a season of hurt, you can't always rush the process of healing. You can't demand that the pain leave on your timeline. You have to endure. You have to keep showing up for your own life even when you're tired of waiting for it to feel good again. And in that waiting, something happens. You learn endurance. You learn that even when the feelings don't change, you can still move forward. You can still choose discipline over despair. And the beauty of silent struggles is that they refine your relationship with yourself. When you've had to depend on your own will to get out of bed, to keep working toward your goals, to stay true to your values despite heartbreak, you learn to trust yourself. You realize that no matter who comes or goes, you are capable of being your own anchor. That's a kind of strength that no one can give you and no one can take from you. This quiet resilience becomes the foundation for everything else in your life. The person who has weathered storms alone is not easily shaken when the winds pick up again. The person who has faced their own fears in the dead of night doesn't collapse at the first sign of trouble, because they've been through the fire before and they've come out stronger. The world often celebrates the public victories awards, titles, applause. But the most important victories are the ones no one sees. They're the nights you decided not to quit. They're the mornings you showed up despite feeling empty. They're the times you kept your dignity when someone tried to take it from you. And it's those invisible moments that will prepare you for the visible ones that are yet to come. So if you find yourself in a season where your battles are quiet, where no one seems to notice the strength it takes just to get through the day, remember this: you are not wasting time. You are not stuck. You are building the kind of strength that will carry you for a lifetime. And when the day comes where the world sees what you've become, you'll know that it was in the silence, in the solitude, and in the hurt that you became unbreakable. When you're in pain, your emotions sit so close to the surface that it feels like anything can set them off. A word, a look, a reminder of what happened. It can all spark a reaction before you've even had the chance to think. And in that instant, your reaction feels justified, because you believe it's the only way to defend yourself. But here's the thing: pain clouds judgment. It makes us want to respond from the wound, not from the wisdom we've gained. And when we react in the heat of the moment, we often create more damage than the hurt we were trying to protect ourselves from. I've learned that the most powerful thing you can do when you're hurting is to pause. Not to ignore the pain, not to pretend you're unaffected, but to give yourself space between what happened and what you choose to do about it. That space is everything. It's the difference between saying something you regret and saying something that moves you forward. It's the difference between fueling the fire and finding a way to put it out. Pausing doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean you've surrendered. In fact, it's the opposite. It's you choosing to stay in control when everything in you wants to lose it. It's you deciding that your emotions will not hijack your values, that you will not let someone else's actions dictate the kind of person you're going to be. In moments of hurt, there is a powerful temptation to match energy, to hurt back, to lash out, to make them feel what you're feeling. But if you give in to that, you become a mirror of the very thing you disliked. And that's not power, that's reaction. True power is when you can take the sting of what someone did to you, hold it in your hands, and then choose to respond in a way that protects your dignity, your peace, and your future. There's a deep discipline in choosing your response. It requires you to rise above the impulse for immediate satisfaction and think about the long-term consequence. You ask yourself, if I react this way, will I be proud of it tomorrow? Will it help me heal, or will it keep me tied to this pain? That self-awareness is what separates the people who keep repeating cycles of hurt from the people who break them. When you respond instead of react, you stop letting the other person write your story. They might have written the first sentence by hurting you, but you decide what the rest of the chapter says. And sometimes your silence can speak louder than your words. Sometimes walking away says more than any argument ever could. That doesn't mean you're avoiding the truth, It means you're protecting your energy for the things that truly deserve it. Responding with intention doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you channel them, you let them fuel your growth instead of your destruction. Anger can be turned into determination. Sadness can be turned into clarity. Even betrayal can be turned into freedom, freedom from illusions, freedom from people who don't value you, freedom from situations that no longer serve you. And here's the thing people will notice. They may not admit it, but they will notice when they can't provoke you. They will notice when you carry yourself with composure, even in situations where they expected you to crumble. That composure becomes your strength, your shield, and your statement all at once. It says, I am in control of me, no matter what you do. The ability to choose your response is not something you master overnight. It's built through small decisions, holding your tongue in one conversation, taking a walk before replying to a text, sleeping on a decision instead of making it in anger. Each time you do that, you're training yourself to lead with intention instead of impulse, and over time that discipline becomes second nature. Life will give you countless opportunities to practice this skill, because people will test your boundaries, situations will test your patience, and pain will test your character. The question is never whether you will feel hurt. It's how you will handle it when it comes. Because the way you respond will shape your relationships, your reputation, and your peace of mind for years to come. So, when you find yourself in that moment, when every part of you wants to react instantly, take a breath. Give yourself that pause, and in that pause, remind yourself, I'm not just protecting myself in this moment, I'm protecting the life I want to build. Because my future deserves better than decisions made in the shadow of my pain. Pain changes you. There's no escaping that truth. But the way it changes you, that's where you have a choice. It can make you bitter, closed off, and afraid to try again. Or it can make you stronger, wiser, and more determined than you've ever been. That choice isn't made in one dramatic moment. It's made in 1,000 small decisions about how you carry your hurt, what you do with it, and whether you let it define you or drive you. When you've been through something that breaks your heart, the easiest thing in the world is to stay in the place of why me, to replay the pain over and over until it becomes part of your identity. But the truth is, you're not here to live in the shadow of what hurt you. You're here to build something new from it. Every setback you've endured, every disappointment, every moment that made you question your worth can be turned into fuel for your purpose if you decide that your story will be one of transformation, not just survival. Think about some of the most inspiring people you've ever heard of. They didn't become who they are because life handed them everything they wanted. They became who they are because life handed them pain, and instead of letting it destroy them, they used it to create something meaningful. That's not because they were superhuman. It's because they refused to let their pain be wasted. They refused to let it be the end of their story. When you decide to turn hurt into fuel, you stop waiting for someone else to make things right. You stop giving your power away to the people or circumstances that caused you pain. Instead, you take ownership of your healing and your future. You start asking, how can I use this? What can I build because of this? Who can I become through this? Those questions shift you from victim to creator, from powerless to purposeful. There's a kind of energy that comes from pain. It's raw, it's intense, and it's unlike anything else. If you let it, that energy can consume you, pulling you deeper into anger or despair. But if you channel it, it can push you to work harder, to dream bigger, to refuse to settle for less than you deserve. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come from moments when people say, I never want to feel that way again, and they build a life that ensures they won't. This isn't about denying your hurt or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about deciding that your hurt will serve you instead of suffocate you. That might mean starting something you've been too afraid to try before. It might mean pursuing a goal with a new level of intensity. It might mean helping others who are walking the same road you've been down. When your pain becomes your purpose, it loses its power to control you. And here's something important: turning hurt into fuel doesn't happen all at once. It's a process. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and other days you'll feel like the pain is winning. That's okay. Every day you choose to keep moving, to keep creating, to keep believing that there's more for you than the hurt you've known. You're building something that can't be taken from you. The beauty of this choice is that it doesn't just change your life. It impacts everyone around you. When people see you take something painful and turn it into something powerful, it gives them permission to believe they can do the same. You become living proof that the worst thing that happened to you can become the best thing for your growth. So let the pain fuel your vision. Let it push you toward the life you've been too afraid to reach for. Let it be the reason you work harder, love deeper, and live more intentionally. Because if you can take the very thing that tried to break you and use it to build the life you were meant to live, then nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop you.